What's up guys, Coach RAC with Headbanger Sports for another week of RAC's Corner. Today I'm going to be talking about how my batting average went from about 220 to 340 all within the span of a couple of weeks due to this one minor adjustment and a few things that I just kept the same. Today I'm going to be talking about how to get out of slumps, and when you're not doing well at the plate, what should be some of the things that you're trying mentally and physically to get out of that slump. So first note, when I was batting 220 a couple weeks ago, I still was having pretty good at-bats. There were some times where my pitch selection wasn't the best. That was something I needed to improve on. But the swings that I was taking, I was getting a lot of hard contact. You may not have the batting average that you want, and so you might be frustrated with the way that things are going, but if you're hitting the balls hard in play, doesn't matter if they're hard rollovers, doesn't matter if they're hard long fly balls that are outs. If you are hitting the ball hard, you are doing something right. Because over the past few weeks, I have gotten more hits than the entire rest of the season combined, and yet over those few weeks, I didn't make any really major changes. And I think this is why so many people get into slumps at the plate and then stay in slumps for a really long time. I think that slumps often start just by chance. Maybe we line out to a left fielder, maybe we line out to the shortstop. It's a good swing with a bad result. And what ends up happening is our brain says, "Ooh, I need to make some adjustments because I keep getting out." When in reality, we needed to keep doing the exact same thing that we've been doing. I was asked yesterday by some kid, "Hey, how do I get out of a slump? I feel like I'm swinging okay, but just nothing's falling for a hit." And the answer is, keep doing exactly what you are doing. Maybe make minor adjustments here and there, but you don't have to scrap everything and try to make a huge adjustment just because you went 0 for 3, just because you went 0 for 4 a couple days in a row. That's gonna happen in baseball. It's completely natural, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing things wrong. So that's my first encouragement to you, is if you're hitting the ball hard, you are not in a slump. Maybe you are on paper, but in reality, you are not. You don't need to make major changes. That being said, there is a time to make some adjustments. So I'm gonna share with you today some of those adjustments that I made that ended up changing my batting average from 220 to 340. And I will say, part of the reason why I'm batting 340 now is because the hits just started falling. There were some jam shot singles, there were some balls that hit off the end of the bat that still ended up being hits. That's an important part of it as well, and those all even out over the course of a season. But here are the mental adjustments that I made. One of them being, I started practicing a batting practice approach in the game, and I started practicing a game approach in batting practice. This is something I've been messing with a little bit in the past couple weeks, and I love it. I'm really excited about it. So here's how it works. When you're in batting practice, okay, I want you to imagine that you're in the game. Put game pressure on yourself as you're taking batting practice and treat it like a real at-bat. Try and convince yourself that you are up to the plate in a pressure situation, and that's the approach when you're taking normal batting practice on the field. Now, once you have this approach in batting practice, it's gonna help you get familiar with that game-like mentality. Now, once you go into the game, I want you to imagine that as batting practice. That's been my approach the past couple of weeks. There's a couple other things that I'm thinking about, but the main thing I'm thinking about when I step up to the plate is I'm looking at that pitcher and I'm thinking, okay, he's about to throw me batting practice. I'm gonna get a good pitch that I like to hit, and I'm gonna go drive it. So with that batting practice mentality, my pitch selection has been way better, and I'm missing way less fastballs. I feel like I'm on time to a lot more. It has helped me tremendously. Literally just imagining that I'm taking batting practice in the game. There's been a second adjustment that I've made over the past few weeks, and this is an adjustment that I've talked about before, and this is probably the best piece of advice, the best universal piece of advice that I think helps every single age group. And this is, I was attacking the inner half of the baseball. So when you see the baseball coming into the plate and you cut the ball in half, hit the side of the baseball that is closest to you, hit the inner half of the baseball, have that be where you set your sights. The reason that this helps so much is because it fixes our direction. Our swing is rotating around our body, right? And so naturally it's going to be in a circular motion. The issue with that is when our swing is very rotational, our barrel is only in the zone for a small period of time. And so when we think something like hit the inner half of the ball, it forces our bat to stay more linear and stay on the line of the baseball longer rather than being rotational and cutting across the ball. So it gives us a larger window for contact, which ends up resulting in better swings, better contact, and even better power, better backspin instead of topspin. It has so many different benefits. So that's the second adjustment that I made, is I've just been especially keen to attacking the inner half of the baseball in addition to imagining that it's batting practice. But again, remember, if you are in a slump, but you feel like you're hitting the ball hard, don't feel like you have to change anything. Change your perspective of what you believe to be success from having a high batting average to instead be hitting the ball hard and swinging at the right pitches. Then you can endure those periods of low batting average because you know deep down you actually are hitting as you should be. As always, I'm Coach RAC with Headbanger Sports, and we will see you guys next week.